Welcome to the Scouting Expedition podcast, courtesy of the Cascade Pacific Council of the Boy Scouts of America. This is more than just a podcast, it's an adventure cast. Here we'll share stories and insights about the lifelong adventure, real-world grit, and personal growth only found through scouting here in the Cascade Pacific Council. We'll have guests here indoors, but also head outdoors to meet those that make the Scouting Expedition come to life for thousands of local youth here in Northwest Oregon and Southwest Washington. Each episode will start with the latest news, reminders, and important deadlines for our families, scouts, leaders, and volunteers, so you can just take a quick listen or watch in a way that's convenient for you. Then we'll dive into the topic of the day. So let's get started.
Hello and welcome to the Scouting Expedition podcast. My name is Chris Bartel. I'm the Director of Marketing and Innovation here at the Cascade Pacific Council of the Boy Scouts of America, and I'm here to give you the latest news updates. So this news update here is for members and folks in the Cascade Pacific Council area, and this is also sort of a repeat, if you will. It's what you actually find in your weekly Compass Points email newsletter, but we're doing this here on the podcast because hopefully it's easier for you to digest and listen and watch in a way that you can enjoy and that's easiest for you. But of course, all of the links and everything are in the email newsletter and on our website. So let's dive into it, shall we? First of all, we of course want to, before we get into our actual podcast episode, where we're going to be talking about some fantastic recruiting tips from our friend Dave Cavaretta at PAC 608 and our hosts who you'll get to meet here soon, we actually like to start things with a safety moment, whether it's meetings or outings. And today's safety moment is to remind you, dear unit leaders, to have safety moments in your meetings and before your outings. And how do you do this? The easiest way is to go to scouting.org, do a search for safety moments. They have more than 100 safety moments on this page on their website, and they are fantastic. Literally A to Z safety moments, and everything from camping to campfires and cooking and all of that. It's a really great resource. We want to encourage you to do that at scouting.org. Now let's dive into the latest and greatest news from around the Cascade Pacific Council. First of all, this is really important, speaking of camping and outings and all of that, is that the new registration changes are now in full force, which means that all adults attending overnight outings with Scouts must now be fully registered. And what does that mean? Well, you have to have a complete adult application turned in, you have to complete your youth protection training, and you have to have a BSA criminal background check approved. Now, this process can take a few days up to even a month in some cases. So that's why we are hounding on this and reminding you over and over again to get this taken care of, because it is good, for the entire year. And we can't wait till the last minute on this any longer, where, you used to be able to show up at camp and fill out a form. And so you really have to be registered before you show up at anything these days, and that's to keep everybody safe and approved and whatnot. Now, there is one exception for Cub Scout adults who are doing overnights, that Cub Scout parents or legal guardians who are participating in an overnight Cub Scout program with your own child or legal ward are not required to register as leaders. Next up, we just want to remind you to save some dates here. Registration will be available soon for the council annual business meeting. More information will be on coming soon here on that. That is going to be May 22nd, and we expect it will be in person and online. Also, the Council Court of Honor is going to be happening on June 9th. We're doing this at Oaks Park. It is going to be a blast. We're going to have a super open house kind of Court of Honor. So it's very different this year, different than we've ever done. We're going to have an open community event as well as awards, and that is on June 9th, and really it's all day. It's going to be a fantastic time, so more information will be coming on that soon. We also want to let you know that there is a job opening at the Cascade Pacific Council, so if you want to help kids get outdoors, grow in grit, and have great adventures, and become tomorrow's leaders, by golly, let us know at info@cpcbsa.org. We have an opening for about 24 to 30 hours per week. It's $20 an hour. And this is for a part-time member support specialist, somebody at the front desk who's helping folks out. Also, in other news, we have a chance to win a free adult summer camp reservation. So if you love summer camp and you want to help us promote summer camp and raise a little money for summer camp and our camp programs, and just really ensure that kids are getting a first-class experience at our camps, then join us for a Camp for All fundraiser call night and that is on April 17th at 6:30 p.m. Again, the link for that and the information for that is in your Compass Points email newsletter. And speaking for Camp for All, don't forget, for you out there, and everybody should be doing this, right, helping us raise money for our incredible first-class camps, that May 31st is your deadline to get 5% of your total amount raised on a Scout Shop gift card for your Camp for All campaign. And, of course, you get free weekend camping at council camps, and you get a ribbon for your unit flag for accomplishing your goal there. Here's a fun and unique opportunity to really connect with folks and scouts all over the world, actually. But we're doing a National Day of Prayer on May 2nd at 5:30 p.m., where we're asking scouts to read sacred texts. This is really, really interesting, where no matter what your faith is, you can actually just join in at a National Day of Prayer. Scouts across the United States and even across the world are going to be doing this at 5:30 p.m. local time on May 2nd. Also, we want to mention that there is a Memorial Day flag placement. This is an annual tradition that's been going on for 56 years, where we get to go out and place flags at 180,000 graves at the Willamette National Cemetery. That's happening on Friday, May 24th. We just want to emphasize that this is actually happening on Friday this year rather than Thursday. And just bring your troop and your regular American flag, and we will have all of the other flags, the 180,000 flags, available for everybody to help out. And we do really want all hands on deck for this. This is just an important opportunity to serve, and it is a fantastic, touching moment where the scouts get to do this, and families too. So we invite families, friends. You are all invited to do this at Willamette National Cemetery on Friday, May 24th. Also, we want to let you know about the new Cub Scout program resources. Links for that, of course, are in your email newsletter, and we are going to have a podcast episode on that coming up here soon as well, to get all of the latest and greatest details on all of the updates happening with the Cub Scout program that is launching on June 1st. Here's something really fun, is that the Scout Shop, of course, always has deals. If you ever just want to pop into the Scout Shop, there is always something, if not multiple things, on clearance or on sale. But here's something that's really great, is they want to help you get ready for camp. And there's a one-day only sale on April 27th, and there are going to be hourly deals, how-to demonstrations. It is going to be super fun. Again, that is on April 27th and on Saturday, and it's going to be fantastic. There are some incredible demonstrations and deals that will be happening there. We also want to let you know about work weekends, so you can come and swing your mighty hammer or your saw at work weekends at multiple camp properties. There are a variety of weekends available happening now, actually, through the beginning of summer camp. We really need everybody's help just getting camp ready for all of those scouts and families and adults coming out there to our camps, including even Camp Clark. We're going to actually talk about family camping here in just a moment, too, which is really fun. But we need help on work weekends, so check that out in your Compass Points newsletter. Another fun activity is that we have climbing days. Our incredible climbing committee has multiple indoor and outdoor climbing opportunities for all youth. So even Cub Scouts have an opportunity to do this, and you get trained and you learn how to do it. It's really fantastic. A bunch of opportunities are available throughout the entire year, so check that out on the website or in your newsletter. We have a variety of training events that we want to tell you about, too. That one of them is fishing. There's an opportunity on May 18th in Beaver Creek to learn about fishing skills, how to run a fishing program in your scout unit or your district, or even at our council events, and that's on May 18th. Another training opportunity is wilderness first aid. We have some courses available here for youth ages 14 and up and adults, and this is an incredible opportunity to get prepared for the great outdoors and get some hands-on training that meets Boy Scouts of America requirements as well. And classes, actually, these folks who are running this do an incredible job, and they will actually tailor the event to your activities. So if you're doing some high adventure activities or whatever adventures you're going on with your scouts, they will help you just hone those skills precisely tailored to your needs. And there are a variety of classes available. These are $200, and actually you get a training card that's good for 2 years and, again, meets the BSA requirements. For youth, there is, of course, National Youth Leadership Training. This is an incredible professional course. It is actually run by scouts, but scouts ages 13 plus can come here. There are multiple opportunities this summer to do NYLTs, what we call it National Youth Leadership Training. It is professional, and you will learn how to run your Scout unit. It is an incredible opportunity to learn to be a better leader for your Scout unit, and these opportunities actually happen at Camp Baldwin. We have a variety of district events actually coming up. Camporees, oh my gosh, Camporees galore happening. Pacific Trail is having a camporee on May 3rd through 5th at Beneke Creek, Jewel Meadows Wildlife Area. Santiam Rivers Camporee is happening that same weekend on May 3rd through 5th at Powerland Heritage Park. And the Spirit Lake and Cascadia districts are having a combo camporee on that weekend as well in Fort Vancouver. That's on May 3rd through 5th. On Pacific Shores, they're actually having a district camporee and family campout the weekend after that on May 8th through 10th at Camp Clark. So check that out. Speaking of Camp Clark, we have family camping opportunities. Reservations are now open where you will have an incredible time with your family at Camp Clark. And these opportunities are open from Memorial Day all the way through Labor Day. So check that out. What a great time. You get basically a private beach all to yourself. Some partner events that we want to mention are a couple of them here. Welding Merit Badge is happening from our friends at GK Machine. Oh boy, the kids have just had a blast at this, learning to weld in a safe fashion. This is for all Scouts BSA youth. It's on April 27th, and so get in on it because this does fill up fast. Coming in May, we have some really fun partner opportunities. One is Alaska Airlines Aviation Day, and that's for Scouts ages 11 to 18, and that's happening on May 11th. Boy, they have flight simulators and engines and teaching all about aviation. It is a fantastic opportunity. Also in May, we have Scout Night with the Hillsboro Hops happening on May 24th. They are going to have a parade and fireworks and baseball, of course. It is going to be a blast. And finally, just want to mention that next week's podcast is again about the Cub Scout program updates. We have some incredible information from our folks here in the CPC and volunteers that have really been on the cusp of everything that's happening with the updates to the Cub Scout program. It is going to be a fantastic episode, so please join us for that. And now let's dive into today's Scouting Expedition podcast. Here, we're going to talk about growing your Scout unit, and we'd like to welcome Dave Cavaretta from Cub Scout Pack 608 in Salmon Creek, Washington. Also joining us are our official hosts today, Virginia Molina and Tim Williams from our field team here at the Cascade Pacific Council, and these folks help units like yours on their scouting expedition. And welcome, gang. I'm going to hand the mics over to you and take it away.
Hey, Dave, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first off, just want to let everyone kind of know your background in scouting here. Can you tell us, how did you get involved in the scouting program?
Like most leaders, I was voluntold and joined a Cub Scout Pack 163 when my oldest started kindergarten. He was one of the first Lion Scouts and was a parent through the first year, and I got recruited to be a committee member towards the end of that first year. And then some changes happened over the summer, and suddenly I was Cub Master in 2018. So, and it grew from there, just trying to keep the pack going and mainly support my son, but it grew to supporting the other scouts in the pack, and it's grown from there.
That's awesome. And where has your journey kind of taken? What are you doing right now for the Scouts?
Currently, I don't know if we have enough time to list it all, but I am the Cub Master or exiting Cub Master of Pack 608. A new Cub Master, Bryce Gardner, just stepped in recently, so I'll be assisting him. And about a year ago, my oldest crossed over into Troop 475, of which I am the treasurer for that troop.
That is awesome. Can you tell us a little bit why you stayed so involved? Because I know you do a lot more of scouting just beyond that as well.
It started as a desire to kind of carry on my father-in-law's legacy. My wife's father ran Rancho Alegre in near Santa Barbara, California for about 30 years. And he was the legacy scouter in the family. So when my son joined as a Lion, unfortunately, he had passed away about 6 months prior. So I felt called to kind of support the scouting program and, again, continue what he did to support the program.
That is awesome. I know I've talked to both you and your wife about your father-in-law and some awesome stories there. And we probably could do a whole podcast on that on another time.
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about PAC 608? Just give us a little context right now, kind of where they stand, where you guys ended this last year. And
Yep. PAC 608, we meet in Salmon Creek, Washington, which is, if you're not familiar, is kind of near the Clark County Fairgrounds. We had about 90 scouts in our PAC, which has now gone down to about 65. I'm sorry, correction. We had 80 scouts in our PAC, which has now gone down to 65 now that our Arrow Lights have crossed over. And we've been steadily growing over the last couple of years. We've been blessed with a lot of support from families in the community who want to participate and be engaged in scouting.
that is great. What does the adult engagement in your PAC look like?
We are blessed to have a very strong committee with a lot of committee members willing to take on specific roles and positions. Like I always say, many hands make light work. So we do have a lot of parent involvement. Even if they're not able or willing to be leaders, they can help in other ways, and they usually will do so.
All right.
Earlier, when we had first met, I asked you, how long have you been with that PAC?
Mm-hmm. Our family joined in 2021. We had sold a house and moved basically across town, so it no longer made sense to continue with the PAC that we were in. So we transferred to PAC 608, which was closer to our home.
Do you remember what size it was when you first joined?
We joined, corresponded with a year where the PAC pretty much doubled. I think we went from about 30 to 60 scouts that year. And we were, again, part of that influx of scouts. And a lot of that was due to the COVID pandemic. People were kind of shifting around. Some PACs had folded, unfortunately, and so we were part of that movement.
Well, can you tell us a little bit what you guys do for recruitment? How do you guys get from 30 to 60 now to like 80, 90?
Yep, I can tell you it's nothing special. We do have annual planning meetings where we plan our events for the year. What does the PAC want to do? And then we plan how do we budget for it. And a part of that planning is estimating how many new scouts we anticipate and where we're going to recruit. The biggest effort for our recruitment side is back to school night. We recruit from 2 schools that are near us that we have permission to recruit from, and we set up a table at the back to school night. We hand out some materials, and we invite families to come to a join night. And that's usually the first official kickoff of the program for the year is our join night, where we invite all the families to come learn about scouting, have some fun with the PAC, and then we invite them to just come and participate in the meetings. We don't really ask them to turn in applications or pay the dues right away. Just come for 3 or 4 meetings and see if it's a good fit for you and if you like us.
All right. And remind me, how many scouts did you guys recruit last year alone?
Rough numbers, we went from, I think we had about 35 or 38 scouts join us last year.
Wow. I think that's probably one of our top in our council.
Mm-hmm.
That is impressive work. And I think you were also telling us a little bit earlier that talking a little about the Facebook and how you've been doing some ads on Facebook.
Yes.
Spreading the word about the PAC.
That's the other avenue to mainly increase awareness of our PAC and what we do. We have a public Facebook page. We have a private page just for the parents, but we have a public page to maintain a presence in the community. And we will post updates of what our scouts have been up to periodically. We will send out targeted ads to invite the public to recruiting events like our spring bike derby or PAC Olympics event that we do, and of course our fall join night.
All right. You know, I think our producer, Zach, back here has your Facebook page pulled up. Let's show it here to our audience to see kind of what they've been doing and how active they are and how often they're posting.
I know the most recent posts, our Weeblo's Den went out to the beach to Fort Stevens to do I think it was a 3-mile minimum hike. We ended up hiking 4 miles out to the wreck of the Peter Iredale, where we also completed some requirements for our cast iron chef adventure, where we set up several cook stations and we had the scouts make hamburgers and cheeseburgers and grilled cheese, and It was a mix of sunshine and rain and wind, but they had some grit. And we got through it, and we actually had some pretty good cheeseburgers out of it.
All these events and activities that you're doing, they don't happen by themselves, right? So can you talk a little bit about who is behind the membership drive, the activities? How does that come together?
It's really a mix of everyone. Everyone plays a part, and everyone part of our annual planning meeting is what events are we planning and who is the lead for that event? Who among the committee or just a helpful parent is willing to be like the lead coordinator? That doesn't mean they're doing it all themselves, but they're the ones coordinating with some help from other parents. So the den leaders step up and do a lot. We have an outdoor activities coordinator who helps us with reservations and summer camp signups. And so it's really a team committee effort.
That's nice. When you first joined that unit, was that culture of committee member volunteerism installed, or is that something that your group grew with?
Absolutely. There was a strong committee when we joined. And with any committee, the culture kind of shifts from year to year. As we have parents leave the unit and new parents come in, there's a continual shift. But I have to say the overall atmosphere has remained positive, encouraging, and overall fun to be a part of. And I think that's the critical piece that makes people feel welcome to be a part of it, is to keep it fun.
Yeah. I've got 2 follow-up questions to that. Sorry, Tim. Do you know how many of your adult volunteers are trained beyond YP training?
I believe our goal was to get to 100% trained, and I think officially on the books we were 50% trained, but I think there were some anomalies. Some of our graduating leaders were still attached to our unit, and they weren't trained in their new troop positions, so they were might have offset our numbers a little bit. But I know we have a committee that was looking into that and pushing training. In fact, one of the things I do for the district is I teach the Cub Master portion of the leader position training for Cub Scouts. So I help ensure that those who are able to and want to receive that training have it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And aren't you also like a Baloo instructor as well?
I do instruct for Blue. In fact, I'm helping to teach our session this upcoming weekend at Camp Lewis.
Awesome.
The other question I had was, so if a new parent comes into your group and you have a functioning committee, how do they get more involved? Are they invited to the committee meetings, or how do they see what happens there?
Yep. So our committee meetings are held on a separate night from our regular unit meetings. So we hold them online on Zoom, which came about through COVID, and we found it very convenient. So we kept that. But our committee meetings are open to anyone in the PAC that wants to come. You don't have to be a leader. You don't have to be on the committee. You could just come as a parent and just listen to kind of the business end of running a unit. But when we have an adult that's interested in supporting the unit more, that's our first step, is we'll come to the committee meeting. Just listen. We're not asking for a commitment from you yet. Just come and listen and see what conversations go on behind the scenes.
That's awesome.
That's great.
I want to talk a little bit about your joy nights. And I don't know if, Zach, if you can pull up there on the Facebook page real quick, scroll down, see if you can find pictures of their joy night they did back in September. There's probably too many posts. They're pretty active there. But while you're looking to pull that up, can you tell me, how do you manage to do a joy night with that many people coming into your pack? Like I said, 38 kids that joined.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a group that size, you kind of have to embrace the chaos that comes with it, and just know that you can't plan every single minute of it. Mm-hmm. There has to be some flexibility in the structure, right? And you can't exactly keep 90 plus youth in their seats paying attention for an hour-long meeting too. You gotta get them out of their seats, get them moving, get them having fun. That's the whole point of a joint night. So we purposefully planned, the business presentation of it, of here's what our pack is, here's what scouting is, here's why it's beneficial to you as a family. We try to minimize that time and, kind of pack 10 pounds of flour into a 5-pound sack, so to speak. And then organize an activity that everyone can participate in. Or in this case, I think we had 5 different activity stations to divide the group up even more, because we knew we'd have a large group.
Yeah.
We were coming into this year with 40 plus scouts, and we, in years past, have seen some explosive growth. So we expected, 70 plus scouts.
I got a few things to follow up on this here too, but first tell me, you were telling me earlier about all the troops that came out and helped on your join night.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me again, how many troops were helping you?
We had 5 troops come out to help run our planned activity stations. So we had just some simple activities. I think we had knot tying, bottle rocket launching. I think we set up a rain gutter regatta track with some boats that they could practice racing on, and a few other things. But I wanted to, number one, get some extra muscle to help us with this, to kind of take some pressure off the den leaders and our other committee members. But also, this came about from other conversations that I had been having, in the district level with other units, of how do we get the troops to engage with the Cub Scout units to help support the Cub program. One of my missions, and one of the reasons I've been involved, is I feel the Cub Scout program can be strengthened. There's a lot of room to improve there, and I try to be the change I want to see in the world. So I've done what I can, or I'm doing what I can to help support that mission. And one of the things that came up was, if the troops were to support the Cub Scout program, stronger Cub Scout packs equal stronger troops. It's to their benefit.
Yeah.
But how do we start that process?
Yeah.
And it started with an idea, actually, that Ron Stanky suggested to me for our district Pinewood Derby of, hey, go to an OA meeting and invite those scouts to come support the events at the district derby. And I did that, and they agreed to come support it, and it was awesome. And so that expanded to, well, I wonder if I could get the troops to come out and support our join night so I don't have to do all these activities. And it worked, and it was awesome. So
that is great. I saw once pulling up your Facebook page here too on the fall recruitment stuff. I saw you had the join night event stuff posted out that I'm sure you're advertising across Facebook. I think I saw a few pictures there as well. But just want to say that is such a great practice for any join nights, for any type of units, from a troop, for the pack. Just wanted to, you guys do such a great job there. I also wanted to talk a little bit about some of the other resources that you have access to from our council website. Now, Virginia, remind me, what's the council website that you have to go to order materials?
cpcbsa.org/marketing.
So, Dave, tell me, what resources have you used either in the pack or the troop?
So we took full advantage of the marketing materials offered through the CPC website, and we ordered postcards. I think I ordered one of everything: stickers, postcards, posters, banners, everything. And we used that at our recruiting tables at back to school night. We hand wrote our pack information on the handouts, and we had the banners displayed and the posters up. So it's a really, really good way to get, and it's free, by the way, right?
Yes.
So free marketing materials, a little bit of free swag with the stickers. Kids love stickers. I love stickers. And it's a good way to, again, promote your unit, get awareness out there without breaking your PAC's budget. So it's a really valuable resource that council offers, and I encourage everyone to take advantage of it.
We had about 47 units last year that recruited only one youth the entire year. What would your advice be to a pack or a troop that maybe has no experience with recruiting? Where should they start?
Start by making your program fun. Generate a buzz with how fun it is to be in your unit. And there's a million different ways to do that, but find a way that's right with you. Every unit has a unique atmosphere, a unique feel to it. Tap into that and learn what makes your unit stand out, and really emphasize that and create that buzz, create some awareness, and people will gravitate to you. It's amazing how that works.
That is awesome. I know I also seen, through making things fun, learning how to market your unit, you can also do some really great things as well. And for those out there who haven't ordered anything from our website, we should probably walk them through it really quick. You want to help us with that, Virginia? We probably make a flyer for my troop. I know we probably need something for recruiting.
Yeah, sure. Zach, if you want to hit that top button, order CPC banners and more. Now, on the right-hand side, you'll see order Cub Scout pack materials, but you want to hit the following button, order other unit materials. Well, while he pulls that up, we do have marketing materials for all units. Ships can order stuff, crews, troops, packs, and you can customize them as well. So if you don't see something that you like, we do have a brand marketing center where you can download a ton of different kinds of flyers or put in your special request if you want something custom made for you. Besides the flyers that we have available, we also have vinyl banners, the yard signs. I think that people really should take advantage of, like you did, order one of everything and see what works. Postcards. There's a couple major events throughout the year where there are a lot of youth activities at community centers or at local churches, other organizations. Easter's a time that's coming up where you can put, cards in baskets, or during Halloween in the fall. There's a lot of different places where you can send out that advertising. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. So the 2024 Scouts BSA order form here, we can just follow the steps. So you'll want to enter your email.
So we'll put tim.williams@scouting.org.
And your name, Tim Williams.
503-545-5210. And this is Spirit Lake. We have a boys troop and a girls troop. And this is 310/5310.
Doesn't like the slash.
Yeah.
You might have to do them separately.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I can put one in after this request too.
All right.
So I think we can, I see our peer-to-peer cards there. And it looks like we can actually print on those as well, or use signs. But let's just scroll down for right now, because really I'm interested in the flyer. Oh, I do like that sign up, that yard sign there. I do know we have some district events coming up that says Grit Lasts Forever.
That's a vinyl banner.
That's a vinyl banner.
Yep.
And it looks like we can customize that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put there for when Sunday night, 6:30. And we put my information as a contact.
Those are right in.
Oh, those are right in? Okay. We have posters as well. We have banners put up when we are doing community service. There's the stickers that we were talking about. We have little mini Frisbees.
Those are new.
Yeah. You have to grab some before you leave.
Yeah, give them out to your kids. A room full of 80
yeah.
kids. They'll be flying around everywhere. They'll be awesome.
Those mini Scout Life magazines are popular at back to school nights. A lot of kids like to take them.
Anytime I'm trying to engage with the Scouts too, I always turn right to that joke page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a ton of resources. So this is where you can go and place an order. Usually it takes maybe a week or so turnaround time for us to get these materials in place for you, and you can get them delivered to you by your professional, or you can pick it up here at the Scout office. Tons of free resources to market your unit. Absolutely take advantage of that.
So
thank you, Zach.
Yeah, and it looks like it for the flyer wise is asking school district. We're in the Ridgefield School District.
Now, some of these things like logistics wise, every school district varies. So you do want to check with your school district if they allow paper flyers. They might be only on Peach Jar digitally. But if they do allow paper flyers, all you need to do is let us know, and we can, once you place your order, we can print enough flyers for that entire school. Or if you want to do 2 schools, we can definitely set those bundles up. Usually a school might ask you to sort them for the classroom sizes. So that's something that our office does for you, and we can get them to the schools for you as well. But if they are on Peach Jar, there's usually a monthly fee with that. I think it's $25 or $30 for 30 days, where you can upload your digital flyer. But when you place your order, you can also get a digital version of that flyer, so you can put it on your social media, your Facebook, things like Nextdoor, other parent groups. Those are really good places to advertise. I used to be, now in my role as service area director, I used to be an executive in Timberline, and I would join all of the PTA pages and just, not spam it, but I would post, upcoming events and flyers and things like that for the units that would provide that to me. So that's another way to get the word out of your own events and things that you got going on.
Absolutely. And we used our Facebook page to send out targeted ads as well for events coming up. I don't know if I mentioned that before.
That is a great way, because with the targeted ad, you can advertise to certain age groups and zip codes, and with certain likes. So you can target, parents that ages, like 25 to 35 in this zip code, and it works, pretty great, and it'll pop up on their Facebook feeds. I've done that in many different areas.
Does your unit incorporate that into their budget during the annual planning, advertising costs?
We do. Yep. We do budget for recruiting materials, and we try to be thrifty with it. A Scout is thrifty, which ordering from council is a great way. But yeah, we do budget for some advertising and recruiting expenses.
Yeah, I do know also our marketing director, Chris, was telling us we can also print things here at our office. And depending on if we're doing color or black and white, for fairly inexpensive, either like 10 cents a copy for black and white and like 20 cents color for color. We have a whole print shop down in our basement, which is awesome and great resource for any units that want to get things done at a better price.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about best practices for the joint night. So you've placed your order, you've got the materials out. Obviously before that, you picked a date, right, to have the joint night. Where does your unit meet?
So we meet at an elementary school in Salmon Creek, Chinook Elementary, and we try to hold all of our meetings there in one place, so it's consistent. That's where we meet.
So your joint night is at the school? Is it during a meeting? Is it its own standalone event?
Yep. So our joint night is our first official meeting of the year. It's our kickoff for the program year. So it's always on a Monday night, which is when we meet. And for us, it's usually the second Monday after school starts. That's typically when we plan that. And it can vary here and there, but it's usually at least 2 weeks after school starts is when we have our kickoff. So we have the back to school night, which happens right before school starts, where we invite them to join night. We have by back to school night, our join night is already set and planned. We have a date, we have a plan for it, and we can advertise and invite people to it.
Perfect. Do you guys have somebody that welcomes new families, or how does that work? If somebody comes in, are they going to give you their information? Do you share a calendar with them? How do you follow up with somebody that is interested but maybe doesn't join right away?
This is a fairly new position that we've added to our committee, which is a new family coordinator. This was kind of anchored in the new registration policies, where they don't automatically renew every calendar year. So we need someone to help keep track of that, but also as a welcoming committee. So they're the chair, and then we have 2 other parents to help with that. But at our joint night, we have prepared a packet which comes with a pack calendar, so a high-level summary of what our events are planned. It comes with, I'm trying to think of them, a financial summary of here's what the dues are, here's why they are what they are, and here's your opportunities to fundraise through the year. Of course, it comes with an application. And for new families, it comes with some extra recruiting materials of the new parent handbook that is available to order, I believe. Yes. And I usually assemble these in folders with everything for the new families. For the returning families, they don't necessarily need all that new recruiting materials. So we have the packets of here's our high-level calendar, here's our dues, here's our fundraising. Yeah. So we do have these welcome packets prepared in advance and ready.
That's huge. Yeah. When does your unit do their annual planning? What month does that happen?
So we have 2 annual planning sessions over the summer, usually June and July timeframe. Our first meeting, we plan our activities. What does our PAC want to do next year? And that's built off of what did we do last year? What do we want to do differently this year? And we alter that. And we assign kind of a lead coordinator for each event, so that we have a clear path of who's responsible for planning this event. And then after we've established, okay, here's what we want to accomplish this year, we have our budget meeting of how are we going to finance this? How are we going to pay for it? And within that budget meeting, we include a budget for how many new scouts do we expect to get this year, so that we can make sure that we're prepared for that. So, and the goal of our financial meeting is to cover all our expenses, but also keep the amount of dues that we have to charge to families as low as possible. We implemented that with COVID to try to keep families in scouting, because a lot of families were financially impacted pretty heavily with the pandemic. And we were blessed to have a healthy financial status, and we started using some of our reserve funds to subsidize the dues. And the craziest thing happened with our fundraising efforts from our PAC. We fundraised more than what we budgeted to do. So even with spending money to subsidize our dues, we ended up bringing in more money. So we've been able to continue this trend for the last 3 or 4 years now.
That's
so
awesome.
we were able to spend a little bit, keep dues low. So for our PAC, we charged $125, which basically, if you were a brand new family, that was your registration fee.
Yeah.
And we paid for everything else through fundraising. So again, we're very blessed to have involved families with our unit.
That's huge.
That is great. You know, that brings up to another point. And Zach, I hope you can help us out here. If we have a lot of units out there that have new families joining that can't quite afford to join or are looking for some financial assistance, Zach, can you by chance pull up the page and show us how to get to the financial assistance support for any new families that might need some help?
Go to cpcbsa.org.
So under tools, go down to scholarships and financial assistance.
Speaking of financial assistance, so yeah, people can come here and apply for registration and activities assistance or camp scholarships. So we do have, funding available for the national registration fee and to help kids go to summer camp. We also have something called the Uniform Bank. I'm not sure if you've heard of that, where we help youth get gently recycled uniforms. We never want, money to be a barrier. And then we also have 2 fundraisers throughout the year that the council supports, which is the Snack Attack sale in the spring and the popcorn sale in the fall.
Yep. And our unit participates in those fundraisers. We do hand out information for the Uniform Bank. We also have our own kind of PAC-maintained Uniform Bank. Those families that have stepped forward needing assistance, our first step is to refer them to Council for Scholarships. And if Council will step in and help, usually with a portion of the dues for either camp fees or registration. And then we'll have a conversation of if they still need additional assistance. We're blessed with some generous donors that can help out even further if needed.
That is awesome. I know one of the questions on our forum is usually asking how much can the unit or the family afford to pay to help register, because that's all part of it, because we want to help as many kids as we can be in the scouting program.
Mm-hmm. And we emphasize, because we can charge dues on the low side, the only reason we're able to do that is our healthy fundraising efforts. Yeah. So we really emphasize and encourage families to participate in fundraising for their own scout benefit, but to also benefit the troop, or the unit, sorry.
That is great.
A couple other tools that I wanted to talk about that maybe I'm not sure if you're aware of, but how do you use Invitation Manager at all, or QR codes? Is your unit pin up to date? Do you use any of that?
Yep, we have updated our unit pin. Everything there is current. I don't know much about Invitation Manager, but I know we're exploring the abilities that my.scouting.org has for us. I think we're migrating our calendar over to it. And what was the third item?
QR codes. So,
yes.
Zach, if you want to go to beascout.org, this is kind of how anybody could find your unit. So they'd go here, they'd put in their zip code. I'm not sure what the zip code is up in Salmon Creek.
Try 98685.
98685.
Yes, when my wife and I participate in the district level recruiting events, we refer families that we talk to be a scout.org.
Yeah. Yeah. So any unit can have their PIN show up here, and people can request more information. They can apply directly to your unit online. So if you have a join night, a big event, you can actually print out the QR code so people could just scan it and apply right then and there on their phones. So that's another resource that we've got.
Yeah, and that is kind of where I struggle a little bit as Cub Master, and why we're blessed with the committee and someone who is more knowledgeable with that side of things. So he does use QR codes for some of our materials, and Bryce helps out with that a lot.
That's great.
That's awesome. The other way we also can generate leads for units is through our adventure kits, and that's at the cpcbsa.org /grit. And that is a program where families can sign up, say they're interested, and we can help connect them to a unit nearby. And depending on the time of year, they'll get a different kind of kit depending on their age. And they also get a series of emails talking about scouting over the next about 8 weeks. It's an awesome little program. We have roughly a 50% conversion rate in that program, which is awesome when you have leads coming in.
Great.
And it looks like we have kind of what we need showing up there on the for the GRIT program on there as well. So a lot of our things that we send out has a QR code for people to sign for interest, and that usually leads them right to this. This is our internal tracking system, and our professionals can also help units get to the leads off of this as well. I do also want to talk a little bit too. I know you're still fairly new to the troop. Just want to kind of start a little conversation on what can troops be doing right now to recruit.
Our troop currently participates in the spring and fall events that were Bigfoot Search in Weeblos Woods. I know that program is changing a little bit, but that's from the troop perspective, that has been our troop's chief source of recruitment. And we're working on plans to kind of bolster and improve that a little bit. We have plans to find 2 or 3 middle schools to go to their back to school night and recruit, similar to what the Cub Scout program does. And I'm pushing the troop to support community events to maintain a presence in our local community. So we participated in the Battleground Harvest Days Festival over the summer, where we entered a barbecue competition against the fire department and I believe the Lions Club, if I'm not mistaken. And we had a booth. We had some recruiting materials to hand out. We had some knot cards where we have a little card that teaches you how to tie a square knot and a little piece of paracord to practice with, and then our troop information on the back. And we sent scouts to go hand those out to, scout-aged youth at the festival. And then the next month they had the National Night Out again in Battleground, which was near where we meet. So we went and had a booth set up there as well. So we try to go to community events. We also try to support our local community with service projects to just, again, maintain a presence in the community.
I do know my troop is, Troop 310 in Ridgefield. We go to National Night Out every summer, and we always have a big presence. We were running our inflatable archery out there as well, which is, we're blessed with a lot of range masters. And I know any units out there that want to get trained how to run a range, we do have upcoming training on April 6th at Camp Lewis. There's information on our website on that as well. But it's a great way to engage. We do have other kits and things at our office you can check out for recruitment on the Cub Scout level and troop level, and just make sure everyone's prepared and have fun engaging things where you might not have to invest the money yourself to own the own equipment.
One of the fun things of range master training is, at least on the archery side, I remember going through it, and they have each person go through and run a session to demonstrate that they can. But they also have one of the participants act as, they call it, the Timmy Scout. So the problem behavior child who doesn't follow the rules, and how does the instructor handle that? So when I went through Rangemaster training, I got selected to be Timmy Scout for when my good friend was running the session. So I made sure to make his life hard for 20 minutes.
I love that you brought up events, community events, because, how, if somebody's never done that before, how do they do that? Did you just reach out to the event organizer? How did you get it set up?
Yep. So if you scan your Facebook community pages, or if you're, in your community, you kind of have a pulse of what's going on, but you look for the official event, usually on Facebook. That'll direct you to a website. Sometimes you got to do a little bit of digging, but you'll find an event coordinator that you can email. Hey, we want to come and set up a booth, and we want to participate in this event. And usually, if it's a scouting, a charity, a nonprofit, they're more than happy to support us.
Yeah.
I know our charter organization sponsors several community events that they invite our scouts to help run in the kids area, and we've done the carnival things there for them, and it's always an awesome opportunity to be involved.
Yep. So as a troop, we look for opportunities to provide a community service. That's kind of our mission, is to support the community that we operate in, right? Yeah. And that's first and foremost. But sometimes we'll just go and set up a booth and try to find ways to be helpful.
Yeah. Now, did you know also, once March 1st hits, any new scout that comes in that's in 5th grade can join your troop?
Oh.
So they don't have to go right into the Cub Scout pack to just cross over in like a month or two.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's a great opportunity to get the new scouts recruited now for anyone in a troop, and get them signed up and go to summer camp.
Yes.
I was looking at the numbers the other week, and almost 60% of our Scout BSA recruitment happened in the spring, and which is awesome because they got the opportunity then to go to summer camp. And I think we can all agree that the scouts that go to summer camp, they stay in the program.
Yeah. If you can get a scout to summer camp and get them having a good time, they are much more likely to want to stay and continue.
Yeah. What's your philosophy about your scouts just bringing friends to fun activities that the troop or your pack's doing?
We almost have an open policy, especially in the Cub Scout program. Bring a friend anytime. We'll plan special events like our May Bike Rodeo, where it's an emphasis on bringing a friend. Some of the scouting activities, if we're planning kind of more of a high adventure, that may not be an appropriate time to bring someone who's not accustomed to scouting. But we do plan campouts or events or day activities where we'll encourage them to invite a friend. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Bring a friend to Scouts.
Awesome. I know in the past, our troops, we done, bring a friend in. We did like the horseback riding down at Butte Creek, which was awesome. I think we actually did it as a Weeblo crossover type things. But almost any time where you're doing anything out in the little park, stuff like that, you can put your information up and say, hey, come check out our troop. This is what we're doing. And try to have somebody come check you out. I know on a district level up in Spirit Lake, we've done that on a lot of our events. I know like the Derby Day coming up on April 13th there at the Pearson Air Museum. They've had a recruitment booth element there, and it's open to the public. Can you talk a little about how we can incorporate recruitment into different district activities like that?
Sure. Well, for our Cub Scout Derby Day, we want to open it to the public to invite them to see what we do. Yeah. And again, have some fun. On the troop unit, on the troop side of things, if there are activities where it would be appropriate or safe to invite a friend to, absolutely invite a friend. Plan an outdoor hike, plan an outdoor picnic where you're working on some scout skills.
I love the fact up in Spirit Lake this year that even their camporee they're doing over at Fort Vancouver, where the public's going to be around. They can come check out, see what things are going and doing. I think I've heard plans about like aviation merit badge stuff going on up there, and it's a great place to be out in the public and showcasing our skills instead of being out camping out where not many people are going to see you. So hopefully it's going to make some good PR and be able to get some new interest coming into our troops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the current phrase that I'm hearing now is dynamic recruitment, dynamic scouting, and it's all the time, right? We don't have to wait for the spring or the fall to invite people. Every meeting can be an invitation, every activity, every event. So I really appreciate, you sharing that vision with us. from this conversation today, I think that some of the common trends that I've heard are planning, making it fun, inviting people to be a part of that, and, just letting it grow naturally. I think that that's really important to share out to the units out there that might want to recruit. You can do it. Get involved in your communities, find out what's going on, get the word out. And, it's not too complicated, right?
Yep. I think two things we haven't touched on is, number one, when you're planning, keep it simple. You don't have to plan a big extravagant activity or event. Keep it simple, make it fun. But also, probably a more important thing is attend your roundtables. Go to roundtable, build a network of other scouters who help each other out. That's the only way I got 6 troops to come and help our pack, is because I knew the scoutmasters of all the troops.
Yeah.
So it takes time, but if you build a network and if you put in the effort to support scouting, the effort will come back to you. Absolutely.
Love
So
it.
go to roundtable, help where you can, ask for help when you need it, and roundtable is a perfect venue for that.
Virginia, do you have really any other closing thoughts?
No, I just want to thank Dave for your time. Thanks for joining us for this podcast. And hopefully our viewers out there got some information that's new or just a refresher for them. Scouting is fun. Let's invite whoever we can and make sure that we have a great program.
Yep, scouting is fun. You don't have to be an expert to get started. You just have to be motivated, and you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, Dave, it's always a pleasure to see you, and when I see your wife around, and we'll see you hopefully coming up here soon. Have
We'll see
fun
you
at
at
Balloon.
Roundtable.
Yeah, see you tomorrow night. All right. Have a great night.
Thank you very much.